Braunstone History Group Museum is situated at the old stable building in Braunstone Park, connected to Winstanley House. The museum is open every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The members of this group are very welcoming. Many times I came back to the museum and I was welcomed with open arms and a lot of tea and biscuits. They are all a lovely bunch of people, and you can see the delight on their faces when they talk about the history of Braunstone. They hold their meetings at the stables once a week. They have many events planned for this year, which I will put on the screen for you. This video is a tour of the museum. There is absolutely loads of history in this little building. Please come and visit. I swear you will find it fascinating. Unfortunately, as the building is old, there is no wheelchair access. They are willing to bring some of the history downstairs to you. The first room that we are going to holds some information of the local churches. One in particular that is called St. Peter's Church. Here displayed on the walls are just a few pictures of what it looks like inside and out. Displayed on the table are some folders with pictures of some of the members of the Winstanley's weddings. Other folders are documents of various weddings, stories and baptisms. In this room holds information about World War I and World War II. There is a lot of memorabilia, including helmets, diaries, photos and registers. There is also many documents and stories of people who were in the wars and their experiences. According to local residents, the American Army was racially segregated during the war. The black troops came to Braunstone Park first to establish the camp infrastructure. A memory by Alan Chapman. I remember when I used to come home on leave, going to dances at the De Montfort Hall. There was a corner of the dance floor kept aside for the American forces to do the jitterbug. At the height of the Second World War, Braunstone Park was a base for the US paratroopers. There is so many folders of records of soldiers and their stories. On August 1945, the celebration of VE Day was a memory. But in the Far East, the fighting, which had continued for 3 long years, went on. Japan ignored an Allied ultimatum to surrender on July the 28th. On the 6th of August, American troops dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima and another on the 9th at Nagasaki, which ended the war, and the Japanese surrendered on the 2nd of September. There were 300,000 Allied prisoners of war. 100,000 died in captivity. The end of the war in the Far East was celebrated on August the 15th, 1945. Dennis Eaton of Port Erin, Isle of Man. I was only at Braunstone for 1 month. I was under training at an aircrew cadet when stationed in Braunstone in June 1943. I found it to be very pleasant and with no bull. Every Braunstone school is recorded in some way in here. This room holds so many memories. Starting from the early 1950s, photos, registers and more. We have Benbow Rise, Braunstone Hall, Braunstone Park, Braunstone Village, Caldecott Road, Court Crescent, Ellesmere Road, Fulville Rise, Whitcliffe, Imperial Avenue, St Mary's Field and Queensmead. In the next section of this video, I will be putting every school photo in a slideshow. I hope you enjoy it. On this shelf there are folders of every school in Braunstone. So much detail from pupils to teachers. If I'd opened these folders and documented every single entry, this video would probably be over an hour or even 2 hours. So if you're in the area, please come into the museum and have a proper detailed look. If you ask a member of the group, I would think that they would say yes for you to open them and have a proper look. When the pandemic hit, Braunstone History Group and Braunstone Heritage Archive Group decided to come together here. Braunstone Heritage Group focuses on archaeology. Peter Godfrey was a local resident and keen amateur archaeologist, excavating Loversthorpe Way, finding some pottery identified as Roman in 1983, which is displayed here. Braunstone Heritage Archive Group. They are a small group who have a joint interest in the past and in particular Braunstone's past. They have weekly meetings at the stables and at the Civic Centre on Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The group have had many outings. They have gone to Gas Museum, Barrow upon Soar, Abbey Pumping Station, Nunkley Hill. Over the years they have done many digs, including Braunstone Park. Like Braunstone History Group, this group also have display boards which they take different exhibitions. They have many display boards that show you the past of Braunstone, farming areas and so much more. This room is by far my favourite. It holds items that belong to the Winstanley family, all protected by a glass case. Here lies everything you need and want to know about the family that originally lived in the area called the Winstanleys. There is evidence of the original letters that they wrote to each other that was donated by a descendant. The members of the group are all from Braunstone and they are all volunteers, which I think is amazing. They have worked so hard over the years to gather all of this history. Most of it has been donated to them. The first time I went into this museum, I was in awe of all the detail that is presented and also a bit sad, as many residents in Braunstone does not know this museum even exists. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave you now with the memories of the Winstanley family. If you have enjoyed my video, then please give me a like. Consider subscribing to my channel.